Yeah, I mean, if you're putting money on this horse, if you put this horse across the board, I would feel comfortable with putting a singling.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I wouldn't blame you for singling this horse as well. I mean, she's crying for going back to the mile distance after that last effort where she came flying. She obviously needs the
The
two
only thing I'm a
turns.
little nervous about is that it doesn't look like there's that much speed in here. The three horse looks like he could go out there, but other than that, you don't see anybody that's really been in the front too much, with the exception of Dilly's Dancer, who actually that horse looks like maybe the one. You got P-Val on there. He's a speed rider. I'm going to try to go to the lead. So you got two horses that could potentially go out there, but other than that, not a whole lot of speed in this horse. But the good thing is I feel she's versatile. I don't think she's going to be. I think if the pace is fast, she can sit farther back. But if the pace is slower, she can be closer to the pace.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. If you look at her races, two back at Pleasanton, I mean she sat off the front. She was 2 lengths back, a length and a half back. She sat off that front, and another positive, I believe that it was Miss Deal or No Deal she lost to in her last race at Dalmore. Came back here to race solidly in a stakes race on the turf course.
Yeah, Miss Deal or No Deal is a real nice horse. Also was trained by Hollendorfer at one point before being claimed by Neil French. But she's been running like you said. She ran against a nice horse and was competitive against her. So didn't beat her, but was competitive. So hopefully this horse can get to the winner's circle, and maybe you want to consider singling this horse if you need a single, because I think she's a little bit above these others in here.
Yeah, I mean, and then my second choice here was with the Bejarano horse and Carryover on Inner Groove. I think this horse would most likely be the favorite, considering this horse has already won at this track, at this distance as well. She was the favorite when she won here back on July 25th. She was claimed from Carryover, who does 16% off the claim, and he wants to put Bejarano back. I mean, that horse might be the favorite. I think My Gal Candy might be the favorite as well, but I don't know. It's just this horse, will like the front end, and like you said, there's not too much speed in this race. So if Inner Groove is able to get the lead, this horse might be long gone.
Well, those two look like the best ones, and I
Yeah.
think that Inner Groove. I think if My Gal Candy ran an Inner Groove's race, I think she would be the winner. Quite honestly, My Gal Candy, that is. So, and she's stepping up in class a little bit here. So I at least for that horse, she's going to have to beat My Gal Candy here. I think that's the horse to beat, and I think that's your winner. I'm pretty confident here.
Yeah, I mean, if I was doing a late pick 4, I would just put these two horses in. I would feel confident about it too.
I agree.
Moving on to race 6 here, another maiden special for Calbreds for fillies and mares at 6.5 furlongs. We got a field of some solid fillies here. Who do you like here?
Well, I was looking at this race, and this is probably the toughest race I've had. It's a maiden 40,000, but quite honestly, I don't think these horses are maiden 40,000 quality, in my opinion. But that doesn't change anything, really. You got a few interesting horses in here. You got Warrens today, who's coming off a huge layoff, running some maiden special weight races. And actually, for 2 races at Hollywood in June of 2011 and May of 2011, ran second. So against Butterfly Beach, Jet Set Girl, these horses are good horses, good fillies that she's running against. And Bejarano gets on her, so that's a positive. Been working okay. You look at the outside a little bit. You got We Be Good, who is a Hollendorfer, who I think may have needed a race. Interesting there. And you got Royal Capote, another one who I think is interesting because she's dropping out in Bain Special Weight Company. Maybe needed a race there too. It was a long shot, but she got a race over the track, and she's going to be ready to fire too. So I'm going to go with Royal Capote here. I think, like I said, I think she needed the race. I don't think she's quite maiden special weight quality, but I think dropping her is really going to help here. And I'm not so thrilled. I would have picked the Warrens horse, but the only issue there is I'm not thrilled off that huge layoff. There's probably something going on there, and I don't want to try to pick her, first time off this long layoff where she may need the race, although this race doesn't come up that strong. So if she has what she did a while back, she may be very tough as well. But I'm going to try with Royal Capote just because she had a race over this track. Gomez hops aboard, drops in class a bit, and I think she has a very legitimate shot, and you may get a little bit of a price on her. You never know.
I decided to go with the horse just inside of Royal Capote. I'm gonna take another shot with this horse. I took a shot with this horse on opening day,
You
and
love this horse, don't you?
I always root for this horse because I know she's been a maiden. I mean, she's a 4-year-old filly, and I don't know why, but for some reason the big thing that if Espinosa was riding this horse, I would pick it as well. But since Basono, and I mentioned Basono, he's been on. He wins on long shots. Yesterday he won with Romeo Royale when Women's Luck pretty much tried to bite Romeo Royale, saying I actually want to win a race for once in my life. But I think with Basono, like I said earlier, like Basono, he's had such a he has live mounts pretty much. I mean, he gives it his all. He doesn't really get that many mounts, and he gets a solid mount here in Von Ness. And it's considering that she closed pretty well against similar on opening day against Miss Lady Ellen, who won by 2 1/4, and she only lost by 3 1/2. So she could have gotten up for third, maybe second, but plus she went 5 wide, and I think I don't know. I'm gonna give her another shot here. Hopefully, there's a first timer that hopefully there's a fast pace for her, and maybe she's a lot closer up because she was pretty far back last time. I'm skeptical. I root for this horse every time I see her on the program, and I've always hoped she would win a race. But with Basono getting aboard, that's kind of my hunch play, going with Basono. And then go ahead.
Go for it. Go for it.
I was going to say my second choice here is going to be hopefully it'll be a long shot here with Ron Ellis and Edwin Maldonado on Leah Juliana, who raced here on this track. Had a good closing here at the stretch. Was behind by 7.5. Finished 6th by 3 3/4 in the same race that Von Ness raced. So if I remember correctly, they were the 2 horses closing there at the end of the race. But this horse ended up finishing 6th, right behind Von Ness. I think with Ron Ellis, maiden second-time starters, he hits at 38%. He throws the blinkers on. Edwin Maldonado gets them out this time. Valdivia won't be aboard this time, but Maldonado's a real aggressive rider, so I think Maldonado will probably try to put this horse more forwardly placed this time. I'm going to take a shot with this horse. Seeing Ellis in that 38% second-time starter, I think that makes this filly a good shot. Maybe we'll get a good price, I'm hoping.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these horses, these fillies and mares here, you look at, and there's quite a few of them are second-time starters, and like the outside horse Party in Excess, she's actually a first-time starter. So you don't know, for example, with the second-time starters, did they need a race? Did the trainers learn something new but after that first race? So you don't really know. Some of them are dropping in class, so it's a bit interesting. We're going to be able to see, we don't really know exactly what's going to happen here. Just like you said, Leah Juliana, is Maldonado going to be closer to the pace? Does this horse want to be forwardly placed, and is she a totally different horse when she is forwardly placed? So that'll be interesting to see here. And Von Ness, she like your horse, she's been running all over the place. She's been on the lead. She's been closing. She's stalked, mostly closing, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and then also speaking of Leah Juliana, Valdivia, who rode the horse last time, he switches to Commander and Cloud, the 3-horse here. He goes to that horse. For what reason, I don't know, because I would highly doubt he's worked this horse out in the morning. I don't know. The horse comes from Santa Rosa, had Joyce Scott aboard last time, and the horse doesn't really work out much. I don't know. Maybe his agent got him that horse.
Well,
maybe he thought it was a good play.
Some trainers don't necessarily like to work their horses out. I've learned some of them like to just do long gallops, or they don't like to work their horses. But in this situation here, 2 starts back, he ran her maiden 50, and actually didn't do too bad. Finished second, beaten 5 3/4 lengths, so a bit far back there. But that was a little bit of that was a good sign there. At least she finished second. So an interesting move by Valdivia. We'll see what happens with that filly.
Yeah. Once again, when I see Von Ness in a race, I know the race is going to be wide open. I'm just used to seeing this horse in maiden races, to be honest, and knowing it's wide open.
Maybe she'll finally get a win.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, hopefully she's a good price for my sake. But